Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into a topic that's fundamental in industrial organizational psychology, the relationship between human resource management, also known as HRM, and human resource development, also known as HRD. This isn't just about different departments. It's about two essential and complementary strategies for dealing with people at work. When diving into this video, it is important to remember this core idea. HRM is all about stability and keeping the organizational machine running smoothly in the present, while HRD is focused on growth and building the future. So with that said, let's break this down into detail. Let us start by defining the core concepts. To understand the difference, we have to start with simple, clear definition. Let us start with human resource management. HRM is the overall administrative and strategic function that manages the current workforce to ensure the organization runs smoothly, efficiently, and legally every single day. It is focused on maintaining stability and handling the immediate day-to-day needs of people at work. And so HRM is concerned with maintenance. It creates and enforces necessary rules and processes to keep the lights on and everyone compliant. So an example of this would be imagining a large retail company's HRM team, something like from Uniqlo or H&M. So they have to manage mostly their salesperson. So an HRM team then has the responsibilities of processing the monthly payroll for all store employees, ensuring that everyone receives timely and accurate compensation, and handling all legal mandatory compliance paperwork like tax forms. And so these are routine transactional tasks that ensure the business operates correctly in the present. Now let us define human resource development. HRD is the specialized function within HR that focuses on building the future capabilities of employees and the organization. Again, the future capabilities. And so it is an intentional investment in growth dedicated to enhancing the knowledge, skills, and abilities of the workforce. And so again, HRD is concerned with investment or growth. It aims to improve people so they and the company can perform better tomorrow. So an example of this would be, let's go back to that same retail company's, this time HRD team, who notices their managers struggle to coach team members effectively. And so the HRD team designed a 6-month structured transformational leadership training course to develop these skills. And so this proactive investment is solely focused on improving the future quality and performance of their management team, allowing them to address the struggle ahead of time without having the problems arise yet. And that's why it is considered proactive rather than reactive. But we will talk about that later on down the line, but keep that in mind. Now let us go over the key differences and comparison. The distinction between these two concepts are clearest when comparing their functions side by side. So let us start with the first difference, which is the scope and nature of work. So the difference in scope reflects whether the function is dealing with the entire employee experience or just a specific part of it. So HRM is broad and operational. This draws back to its focus on stability. So HRM covers the entire employee life cycle and is the broader discipline. Its tasks are highly operational and transactional, encompassing everything required to employ a person successfully. As discussed, HRM is often reactive, meaning it responds to immediate issues like a grievance or a staffing shortfall or high turnover. So for example, when a conflict erupts between two team members, the HRM team conducts an employee relations investigation immediately and mediates the resolution. And so the goal in that situation is to stabilize the current work environment and ensure policy adherence. And more often than not, that is the typical goal. Meanwhile, HRD's scope and nature of work is narrow but strategic. It focuses on growth. This is because HRD is a subset or sub-function of HRM. Its focus is much narrower, dealing specifically with the process of learning and improvement. HRD is highly strategic and proactive, anticipating future skilled needs and creating systems to meet them. For example, the HRD team does not wait for a company to fail or experience an issue. They launch proactively a mentorship program connecting senior experts with new hires to proactively transfer institutional knowledge and accelerate the growth of future talent, thereby promoting growth while preventing any future issues down the line. The next difference is time focus and orientation, and this difference is very obvious once you look at them. One looks at the present and the other is looking at the future. Specifically, HRM is short-term or present-oriented. The focus of HRM is on meeting immediate operational needs and managing the workforce as it exists right now. Its goals are achieved in the short term, such as filling an empty role or ensuring a performance review is completed on time. So for example, a marketing department needs a new graphic designer this month, and so the HRM function of recruitment and selection must act quickly to source, screen, and hire a qualified candidate to satisfy the present need of the business. Meanwhile, HRD is long-term or future-oriented. HRD's perspective is always looking ahead, concentrating on strategic planning, organizational change, and preparing the workforce for challenges that may arise years down the road. And so it is focused on potential and adaptability. For example, the leadership team projects or forecasts that the company will enter an entirely new international market in 3 years. And so the HRD function begins planning a comprehensive cross-cultural training and language acquisition program now to prepare the employees for that future opportunity. Finally, the last difference is all about their goal or primary motivation. HRM's goal, in essence, is efficiency and compliance, which, if you have noticed so far, is focused particularly for the good of the organization. Again, it is focused for the good of the organization. And so the ultimate objective is to align employees with the company's immediate business objective or objectives, ensuring that they are productive, efficient, and that their management is legally sound. HRM tends to use incentives and rewards, most notably compensation, to motivate employees to perform within the system. For example, an HRM policy ties a salesperson's bonus directly to their quarterly sales quota, and so this is a system designed to maximize short-term performance and efficiency. Meanwhile, HRD's goal is focused on capability and development, which is focused particularly for the good of the employee. And so the main goal is to improve the individual's inherent capability, leading towards personal and professional growth. HRD motivates employees by creating a positive work culture, providing autonomy, and offering pathways for career advancement. For example, a manufacturing company invests heavily in a tuition reimbursement program, knowing that most of their employees would like to further their education through college or vocational training pathways. While it benefits the company long-term, the direct motivation is to enhance the employees' knowledge, skills, and abilities, also known as KSAs, thereby empowering them for their own career progression. Now, while their differences are clear, it is crucial to understand that HRM and HRD are not in competition. In fact, they are deeply interconnected, and their collaboration is the key to organizational success. In essence, one is not more important than the other. This can be seen by the interdependent loop that forms. HRM and HRD must work together harmoniously because HRM often identifies the need that HRD then fulfills. This critical overlap is most often seen in performance management. The HRM system runs the annual performance appraisal, which measures an employee's current performance against its present goals. And when that appraisal identifies a skill gap, for example, a manager who is weak at giving feedback, the HRD team designs a targeted coaching or training intervention to close that gap and build a future capability. And so, this leads to the benefit benefit of this interdependent loop. This integration ensures a holistic employee development approach, balancing immediate support with long-term skill enhancement. Without HRM's performance data, HRD's training might be misdirected, and without HRD's development efforts, HRM's performance reviews would only identify problems without providing solutions. Now finally, let us connect all of these ideas back to the big picture, which is the role of industrial or organizational psychology in shaping both of these functions. Notably, the industrial side, the I side, aligns with the focus on stability, which is linked to HRM. This is because the industrial side is focused on efficiency and the technical aspects of managing personnel. IO psychologists, who are leaned on this side, design and validate selection tests for recruitment, create the structured rating scales for performance appraisals, and ensure compensation systems are fair and legally defensible. This is focused on the science behind getting the right people in the right seats and paying them correctly in order for them to stay in those seats. Meanwhile, the organizational side, the O side, aligns with the focus on growth, which is linked to HRD. So the organizational side is focused on the human side of the business. This is focused on motivation, culture, and change. IO psychologists in this area study leadership, develop and evaluate the effectiveness of training programs, and help guide organizational restructuring and culture change incentives. So this is focused this time on the science behind how to motivate and develop people to perform at their best. In a nutshell, IO psychology is the academic field that informs the management of the workforce today and the development of the workforce tomorrow. And so, there you have it. If you found this detailed breakdown helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives. Thanks for watching, and I'll hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye!